What's really going on, guys? So, we are currently a couple days out from the 1.6 Coral Viper update for Company of Heroes 3. And of course, I had to talk about the changes to HMGs with this patch, as this is the biggest round of MG changes we've gotten since 1.3.1 back in October. Before I go any further, I just want to point out that I have two videos diving into how suppression works in CoH3, if you want a thorough breakdown of how this all works under the hood. Some of the specific numbers and stats are out of date now due to patching, but the explanations of the different facets of the mechanic still apply. So, just to do a quick recap, after the abysmal state of HMGs and suppression on launch, MGs in patch 1.1.4 were given massive buffs to their suppression radius, pin speeds, gun traverse speed, and the health of the crewmen, as well as an increase to how long it takes for a suppressed squad to enter their non-combat state and clear all their built-up suppression damage. 1.3.1 walked back two major parts of this buff package. First, pin times were significantly increased to almost double what they were before, by reducing the amount of suppression damage MGs inflict on already suppressed units, and by raising the threshold that a unit goes from suppressed to pinned from 50% to 65%. Second, by reducing the HP of MG crewmen to make them easier to dislodge or punish with indirect fire or flanks. In 1.6, MGs have had their pin speeds significantly buffed, reverting the nerf to damage against suppressed targets back to what they were pre-1.3.1. Also of note, the UKF Vickers had its baseline suppression damage increased. So of course, I had to run my tests and see where they sit at now. As we can see, pin times are now a lot closer to what they were before the 1.3.1 patch, with the MG42 only being about 1 second slower to pin than it was at the height of its power. After seeing this, I wanted to redo a test I did in one of my previous videos, where I showed that the nerf pin times were so slow in 1.3.1, two squads that were basically fused together could still have enough time to crawl away from each other after being suppressed, and get far enough where it would be impossible for a single MG to keep both of them down. Now, in 1.6, if two squads get caught moving in a blob like that, and get ambushed by an MG42, both will be pinned before you can spread them out enough. However, if you keep your squads apart just a little bit, something you should be doing anyways, 2 squads will be able to just barely get out of the suppression radius, where the MG can't keep them both indefinitely pinned. Before we get all doom and gloom, I'll just say that these MG buffs are being added in a completely different context from the state of the game back in 1.1.4. Mortars and artillery are quite strong in the current version after their reworks in 1.4, as well as grenades having received an overhaul to make them overall more lethal. Also, units like Rangers exist now, which suppression is absolutely key to dealing with. While 1.6 may have rolled back most of the pin speed nerfs, the health on MG crewmen also remains nerfed, despite buffs to their counters and the buffs to the close range lethality of many mainline infantry squads. But, as I always advocate for, we'll just have to see how the meta shakes out. That's all I've got for today. Thank you all for your attention.